Your life is a unique combination of experiences, decisions, and people. No one will experience the same things as you. No one will remember the same things as you. No one sees the world like you do. No one does the same things as you. No one is you. Your life is unique to you. It is an adventure in its own right, regardless of how exciting it might seem to the outside viewer. If you understand this, you'll know that no story is the same and no life is the same. And despite knowing that deep down we have unique lives, we still look outside at other people's lives. We are invested in the story of others, not our own story. We don't care about what we did today because it seems so normal, so mundane, so not special, and we want what they have. Because of this, many people never live their own lives. They are looking at the movie screen of others, wishing they had what they do not. And they waste the one thing they do have. Today, we're going to talk about documenting our lives with photography. But it's not going to be a typical photography video, as you can tell by the tone of this intro. In reality, we're going to learn how to be invested in our own story. To live our lives because it's the only life we can live. Let's get started. What does it mean to document your life with photography? When I was a kid, consumer photography was pretty big. This was before smartphones were introduced and people still shot on disposable film cameras, digital point-and-shoots, or a fat upper-end DSLR. My family and I would take road trips across the country, visiting different places, and cameras were a must-have. There was a strong nostalgic element to photography. You'd take a few hundred photos on a road trip, come back, go to Costco, get a bunch of 4x6s printed out, and make a scrapbook or something to remember the times. And the photos didn't need to be good. Photography was a means of documenting and preserving the moment. Something to look back on and visually remind ourselves of the little details and moments that we may have forgotten. Now, of course, smartphones have changed this whole process. You basically have an unlimited digital album of photos on your phone. And that's one way to document your life with photography. But how you do it is more of a preference than anything. You can choose to print your photos or you can share them on social media. You can build a photo book or simply make a Google Photos album. But the point is to continue capturing these little moments from your daily life that you share with your friends and family. The things you did on that trip to a different country. That time you went out, did something dumb, and regretted your life. Both the good and the bad. It doesn't have to be anything major, just start collecting images. What you'll notice is that when you look back and go through the old photos, you'll be able to remember little details of what had happened, and a smile might creep across your face. This is the rush of serotonin or dopamine that we get from these feelings of nostalgia. This is what they call the memory dividend. Every time we look back at old photos, we are cashing in on the experiences we had. And by documenting these memories, we can build a bigger and bigger box of things we would have otherwise have forgotten. This is the first step to becoming invested in our own stories. You see, we all live overwhelmingly interesting lives. We just don't think of it as such because it's so normalized to us. But when you snap, take pictures, and look back at what had happened, you don't care about how normal it seems. You smile regardless. And you don't compare memories with other people, because that memory is yours, not anybody else's. And the fact that it's yours makes it special. So you may or may not be already doing this, but simply taking pictures and looking back on them allows us to be more aware of our own lives. We are no longer looking outwards, but we are looking inwards. And the more aware we are of our own experiences, the more we want to live and acquire new experiences. It's then that we can start living. But the first step begins with recognizing the uniqueness that already exists here. The camera that documents my life. Obviously, you don't need a fancy camera to document your life. If we're being honest, your smartphone is all you need. The Fujifilm x100v is my camera of choice, but it's a preference, not a requirement. Even though it's my favorite camera, if I didn't have it, I would simply use something else. Before the V, I used a little Sony RX100 Mark III, and before that, a GoPro, and before that, an iPhone. So don't think you need this or any other fancy camera to get started. But I'll tell you why I prefer this one. When I first started using the V, it was mainly as a tag-along camera. Something to capture moments from camping trips, travels, or hangouts with friends. I didn't think of it as documentation, I was just having fun taking pictures. And that was the fun part about it. There was no good picture this, bad picture this. I was just snapping along and I loved it. Over time, I collected thousands and thousands of images from countless trips over the years. The point is to find a camera that is most convenient to have on you at all times. A camera that doesn't get in the way. A camera you never get tired of using. And it doesn't have to be the V, but that's what it is for me. It's portable, fast, and reliable enough for me to bring anywhere and never miss a picture. And I'm so used to it, it's like the back of my hand. Which means taking photos in a fraction of a second and then going back to living life and enjoying the moment, which is the main priority for me. If a camera is too slow, too clunky, or I'm not used to it, I might find myself fiddling with the camera trying to change the settings and then missing the moment, which doesn't happen often if you're using a camera you're comfortable with. There's an argument that if you're always taking pictures, you're not enjoying the moment. I wholeheartedly disagree with this. A picture only takes me a second to take, and depending on my shutter speed, a fraction of a second to take. It does not take me out of the moment. But this is because I've habitualized photography to the point where I can take pictures without really thinking about it. I'm not sitting here for hours snapping away. So if you're concerned about documenting your life and worried that it might take you away from the present moment and enjoying life in general, understand that this is a skill you can develop. It's possible to both be able to take photos and enjoy the moment. So here are some tips to finding a camera to document your life with. Find a camera where you like the images you're getting from it, you never get tired of using it, it isn't a pain in the ass to bring around, and it is reliable to use. If you can find something that matches those criteria, it'll be that much easier to document your life naturally. And if all else fails, use a phone. How to start today. The obvious answer for starting today is to bring your phone or camera of choice along with you and just start collecting images. This could mean one photo a day or just capturing moments whenever you feel like it. You can even make it a challenge to find the moment of the day. How you want to go about it is up to you, but I'd recommend to make it fun. Documentation doesn't have to be serious. The point is to remember our lives and enjoy our lives more. And so the photos don't even have to be good. And as you collect images, you can begin to think about what you actually want to do with them. You can showcase your photos in many ways. You can make a video slideshow reel. You can print your photos and make a scrapbook. You can print your photos and make a photo book. Or you can even just make a Google Photos album or an Instagram carousel. My preferred destination for my photos is usually content or print. I make these videos about what I'm learning and what I'm doing, and that serves as a form of documentation in and of itself. Similarly, I try to print as much as I can. This is a zine I made back in 2020, which is simply a collection of images from that time. I used to want to make a yearly photo book of memories, but I found that to be a little too time consuming. There are a lot of photography projects I want to make, so I'm limited on time and attention. So I prefer to spend time making projects that challenge me, like The Sinking Sun. The Sinking Sun is my first public photography zine, which is now available for pre-order. It's a collection of images from the past year and a half of chasing sunsets. And the funny thing is, I've been documenting the creative process of building this zine itself. Simply snapping a photo here and there while I'm doing the work gives me something to remember from this time period. And that's a way of documentation as well. In the future, I'll be able to look back and think, oh yeah, that's when I was making the zine and doing that thing, and that's when I was worried about stuff like that and all that stuff. So it's quite simple. If you want to start documenting your life, 1. Take photos, period. 2. Figure out what you want to do with them and do it. 3. Continue to live a life well documented. So this brings us full circle. Documenting your life will lead you to appreciate your life more. Appreciating your life more will lead you to want to live more of it. This results in 2 things: the excitement to live and compile more memories and experiences, and the stopping of looking at other people's lives and comparing because you'd rather just live your own. That's why you should document your life, and that's how to do it. If you need a when, the best time is now. Document your life because no one's going to do it for you. I hope this video helped. If it did, please share it with another friend who you also think it might help. And pre-order your copy of The Sinking Sun while it's still available. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Have a great day. Peace.